Launching a YouTube channel is a lot like launching a rocket ship into the space. To reach orbit, the rocket must break through several layers of gravity. The first and often the heaviest layer is the Way number one, realizing nobody cares and why that's a gift. The biggest lesson I've learned since starting my YouTube channel with less than 100 subscribers, nobody cares about my content. Not my family, not my friends, not even my audience. And surprisingly, that realization has been the most liberating gift of this journey. As humans, we naturally think we're the center of the world, and I was no different. Before I started posting, I was consumed by worries such as, what if my friends judge me or trying too hard? What if my family sees that nobody is watching or liking my videos? Does that make me look like a loser? These thoughts swirled around endlessly, creating a heavy mental burden and paralyzing my creativity. The rocketship metaphor. Launching a YouTube channel is a lot like launching a rocket ship into the space. To reach orbit, the rocket must break through several layers of gravity. The first and often the heaviest layer is the fear of judgment from friends, family, and colleagues. This layer pulls you down, making every decision feel loaded with what ifs. When I realized that nobody was paying as much attention to my content as I thought, it felt like I had broken through the first layer of gravity. It wasn't that the journey became easy. There are still more layers ahead, but breaking free from that initial weight was a monumental step forward. Freedom to focus. Once I broke through the fear of judgment, I felt lighter and freer. I stopped wasting energy worrying about what others thought of me and started focusing on what really mattered, finding my authentic voice, connecting with the right audience, and building something meaningful. This shift wasn't just about letting go of others' opinions. It was about reclaiming my mental energy and creativity. Instead of being stuck in a loop of self-doubt, I could now focus on creating content that truly resonated with me. The journey ahead. Breaking through the first layer of gravity is only the beginning. Just like a rocket ship continues to push through various layers of the atmosphere, I know there are more mental and emotional challenges ahead on this YouTube journey, but breaking free from that initial fear was transformative. It set the stage for everything else. It's not about reaching orbit right away. It's about building the momentum to keep going layer by layer, challenge by challenge, as I continue to grow and evolve. Way number two. Breaking free from metrics. The second way starting a YouTube channel transformed my life was by teaching me how to stop being controlled by external metrics such as views, likes, and subscribers. This was a significant mental milestone, another layer of gravity to break free from. Early on, I found myself obsessively refreshing my stats, letting these numbers dictate how I felt about myself and my work. It's not just a YouTube thing. This obsession with validation runs deep in our lives. For me, it started long before I hit upload on my first video. A life shaped by validation. At the age of 38, I had a moment of awakening. I looked back at my life and realized just how much it had been shaped by external validation. I went to prestigious universities, got my master's degree from USC, and worked for Fortune 500 companies like Disney, News Corporation, and Sony Pictures. I also helped ByteDance, now worth over $300 billion valuation, establish its first US office. On paper, it looked perfect. At parties, people would ask, "So Peggy, what do you do?" And when I told them, their impressed reactions fed my vanity. I thrived on this judgment, allowing them to reinforce my sense of worth. But over time, I began to see the hollowness of it all. I was a product of the system, an ecosystem of external measurements like good schools, high-paying jobs, and prestigious titles. These metrics validated me, but they also trapped me in an endless cycle of seeking approval. YouTube and the metrics trap. When I started YouTube, I fell into the same trap. Just as people used to ask, "What's your job?" At parties now, the question was, "So how many subscribers do you have?" It felt like a judgment, like those numbers on the screen were the measure of my worth. And at first, I felt them control me. I would refresh my stats constantly, hoping for validation. But then, something clicked. These numbers would never fill the void I was hoping to fill. The cycles of chasing likes, views, and subscribers wasn't any different from chasing degrees, jobs, and titles. It was just a new version of the same game, breaking free from the metrics. The realization was freeing. I began to see the metrics not as a measure of my value, but as tools for experimentation and growth. Instead of letting numbers control how I felt, I started using them to learn and improve. What works? What doesn't? That's all they meant to tell me. They are not a judgment, they are just a data. And more importantly, I realized that I didn't need those numbers to prove my worth. I'm already enough. Complete, whole, and awesome, just as I am. The courage to be disliked. Breaking free from the metrics is deeply tied to the ideas in the book, The Courage to be Disliked. This book profoundly shaped my thinking about external validation, and it's a key inspiration for this breakthrough. In fact, I'll be diving deeper into the lessons from this book and how they impact my YouTube journey in another video. If this idea resonates with you, stay tuned for that. The foundation for the journey ahead. Breaking through this second layer of gravity wasn't easy, but it was necessary. It has allowed me to focus on the joy of creating and growing without needing numbers to validate my existence. And that shift, it's priceless. Now, instead of chasing metrics to fill a void, I use them as tools to guide my growth while stay grounded in the knowledge that I'm already enough. This lesson has laid a solid foundation for everything else to come on this journey. Way number 3. Confronting my shadows. The third way starting a YouTube channel transformed my life was by forcing me to confront my inner shadows, those deeply buried insecurities, uncertainties, and self-doubt that I often avoided. Starting a YouTube channel felt like stepping into the unknown, exposing myself in a way I had never done before. It wasn't just about putting content out there, it was about putting myself out there. With no guarantee of success, no clear roadmap, and no safety net. The comfort of a predictable path. Before YouTube, I had always followed a structured path. School, corporate jobs, entrepreneurship, every step had a clear goal and a predictable outcome. This path, designed by others, felt safe, even if it wasn't entirely fulfilling. It was like living in a comfortable cage, secure but limiting. On YouTube, it's messy, unpredictable, and uncharted, and stepping into this space brought all my uncertainties to surface. Self-doubt became a regular companion on this journey. Questions like, is this really going to work? And am I wasting my time? Echoed in my mind all the time. Unlike in my past experience, where the steps were clear and external results came quickly, YouTube offered no such reassurance. With no immediate feedback, no guaranteed financial outcome, and no clear validation. Every uncertainty felt magnified. But this experience taught me an important lesson. Self-doubt doesn't stem from the numbers on a dashboard or others' opinions. It stems from the fear of the unknown and the lack of the clear path forward. Finding stability within. The only way to counteract this self-doubt was to stop looking for external answers and start building internal clarity. Instead of fixating on what I couldn't control, like views or growth, I focused on what I could control. Creating content, improving my skills, and taking small, consistent steps every day. Each effort, no matter how small, became a building block for confidence. It's about becoming someone who can handle the challenges, uncertainties, and unpredictability of the creative process. YouTube also showed me that there's beauty in not having all the answers. It's like stepping into the dark with only your heart and vision to guide you. Big traffic numbers or immediate results won't magically solve your doubts because they are not the real issue. The real issue is learning to trust the process and yourself even when the outcome isn't clear. The practice as the reward. Over time, I started to see the daily practice of creating as the reward itself. The act of showing up, learning, and improving, not the end result, became the foundation of my growth. Each video, whether it succeeded or not, was a step forward. This shift in mindset transformed the way I approached YouTube and my own personal development. Breaking through the third layer of gravity, confronting my shadows and learning to embrace the unknown was like breaking through another layer of gravity. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight, but it taught me to rely not on external validation or certainty, but on the strength of my vision and the clarity I built through daily effort. This layer is harder to overcome because it's deeply internal, but breaking free from it has allowed me to create with a sense of purpose and freedom I never thought possible. Way number 4, self-learning and alignment. The fourth layer of gravity, discovering the true privilege. As Carl Jung famously said, The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Starting my YouTube channel opened up a new way of understanding what this truly means. It helped me go beyond what my logical mind told me I should care about and allow me to uncover what I genuinely love, what deeply resonates with me, and what truly matters. Overcoming over-logic. As Gary Vee pointed out in a 2024 conference in Dubai, we've spent the last 100 years overemphasizing logic while ignoring intuition and the gut instincts. These insights resonate deeply with me. We tend to let our logic minds run the show, making decisions that feel safe and smart, while suppressing dreams labeled as too risky, not profitable, or impractical. Over time, this societal conditioning leads us to lose sight of who we really are and what we truly care about. When I started my YouTube channel, I brought with me a logical goal: build a channel, gain traction, and align with my professional skills, and build a big business on top of it. It makes sense. I've been a planner my whole life. I raised $5 million in venture capital for my own startup and built a structured life where planning everything, from business strategies to daily to-do lists, gave me a sense of control, letting go of control. But YouTube challenged me to step away from that over-reliance on planning. It taught me that control, while comforting, can also be limiting. Instead of obsessing over strategies and plans, I started listening to my intuition, paying attention to what truly caught my interest, what ideas kept surfacing in my mind, and what inspired me enough to invest time and energy and even money in, what courses I was eager to take, and who I genuinely admired. These questions, when I allowed myself to sit with them, revealed hints about my authentic self. And that self wasn't just a logical planner or a business-minded achiever. It was someone with curiosity, creativity, and passions that don't always align with the smartest next step. Documenting what matters. One of the most profound lessons YouTube has taught me is the value of documenting what truly matters. Even if no one is watching, creating videos isn't just about hitting trends or maximizing engagement. It's about exploring topics that resonate with me and seeing what resonates with others as well. This alignment between my work and my true self is the most fulfilling outcome of all. As someone who started my career as professional analyst at Fox Networks and Sony Pictures, I know that chasing trends is often the easiest way to grow. But through YouTube, I've learned that chasing trends without alignment only leads to burnout. Instead, I've prioritized something I call founder fit, which I discussed in my video, How to Do Great Work. Founder fit, in my view, is even more important than product market fit. Without alignment between who you are and what you create, there's no sustainable energy to keep going. The power of alignment. This journey has reminded me that success doesn't come from mimicking others or following the easiest path. It comes from alignment, from doing work that reflects your true self and values. It's not about external validation or quick wins. It's about the internal energy and motivation that come from pursuing something that feels authentic. YouTube has become a platform for me to align with my real interests and values. It helped me break through the fourth layer of gravity, overcoming the need for strict control and societal expectation, and discover the privilege of living in alignment with my true self. This, I believe, is the foundation for creating meaningful, sustainable work that inspire both me and others. Way number 5, learning the true meaning of giving. The fifth layer of gravity. The fifth way starting a YouTube channel transformed my life was by teaching me the true meaning of giving. As humans, we're naturally inclined to do things that benefit us in return, and we tend to seek quick reward for our efforts. We run marathons to lose weight and look good. We take internships to land well-paying jobs, and we create content on social media hoping to gain fame, money, or recognition. There's nothing inherently wrong with this. It's part of human nature, but this mindset can also hold us back, especially on a platform like YouTube. The low-frequency trap. When I started my YouTube journey, I was initially focused on results, making money, building a business, and achieving external success. But I quickly realized that approaching YouTube with this mindset created a low-frequency energy that seeped into every aspect of my work. This energy was rooted in lack, an underlying feeling of I need more or I'm not enough. And here is a problem with that. YouTube is rarely an overnight success story. For most creators, the journey is long and often lonely, with few views or likes at the beginning. If your primary motivation is quick financial gain or external validation, this lack of immediate results can lead to frustration, burnout, and even shame. It's easy to lose motivation and quit because the outcomes aren't meeting your expectations. Shifting to high frequency energy. The turning point for me was understanding that the low frequency energy created by wanting something in return was actually the barrier to achieving my goals. The more I focused on what I could get from YouTube, the more drained I felt. But when I shifted my focus to giving unconditionally, everything changed. High frequency energy comes from a sense of abundance, from the belief that you are already enough and living in joy and wealth, regardless of external circumstances. This is the energy that sustains you through ups and downs of the creative journey. The power of giving unconditionally. Giving without expecting anything in return is the most powerful shift you can make. Think about the way you love a child. It's unconditionally, not based on what they give back to you. I started approaching my YouTube content with the same mindset. Instead of thinking, how can this video make me money or get me recognition, I began asking, how can this video inspire, guide, or help someone else? It could be something as simple as sharing an idea that has inspired me or offering guidance to someone who might be struggling in the same way I once was. The goal was to focus 100% on what I could give to others. When you make this mindset shift, the results take care of themselves. Not because you are chasing them, but because you are creating from a place of genuine abundance. The abundance of giving. Here is an analogy that really resonates with me. Imagine you have two choices. In one, you spend your life taking from others, always expecting to receive. In the other, you spend your life giving to others, offering your time, energy, and resource freely. Initially, the first option might seem more appealing. After all, who doesn't want to receive? But over time, constantly taking leads to emptiness, like a beggar on the street who depends entirely on others. The second option, however, leads to true abundance. By giving freely, you create a life of wealth, not material wealth, but the kind of richness that comes from knowing you have so much to offer. The more you give, the more you realize how much you already have. And that's the essence of high frequency energy. When you focus on giving, you elevate your energy, inspire others, and create content that resonates deeply. And that's the kind of work that not only fulfills you, but also has the potential to make a lasting impact. This lesson transformed the way I approach YouTube and life. It's no longer about what I can get, but about what I can give. And that shift has brought a sense of joy and purpose that no external reward ever could. Way number 6, becoming a student again, the 6th layer of gravity. The 6th way starting a YouTube channel has transformed my life is by turning me into a student again. Every day on this journey, I'm learning something new. How to design better thumbnails, craft compelling titles, improve swipe ratio rate, or communicate more effectively in front of the camera. It's a process that feels simple and repetitive, like a monk in a temple practicing daily rituals, sweeping the floor, carrying water, cooking meals, and reciting scriptures. To others, it might seem tedious, but to me, it's deeply fulfilling, a humbling realization. Even though I hold a master's degree in communication management from USC's Annenberg School, one of the top communication programs on the planet, a degree my parents invested heavily, I realized something humbling after 14 years of real-world business experience as a 30-year-old entrepreneur and mother. I'm still far from mastering communication. I've climbed to the top of my profession in many ways, working for prestigious companies and building a successful business, but at those heights, there's a constant pressure to appear as if you know it all. People look to you for answers, trust, and leadership, and that weight can be exhausting. You're expected to have everything figured out, leaving little room for mistakes or growth. The freedom to learn. YouTube, however, has given me the freedom to embrace learning again. It's like being back to school, but this time the lessons aren't theoretical, they're practical and immediate. Each video I create, each mistake I make, and each new technique I try teaches me something valuable. This platform is like an expensive classroom where the only way to grow is through trial, error, and persistence. There's something incredibly refreshing about this process. Instead of pretend to have all figured out, I get to experiment, fail, and improve. I can approach this journey with curiosity and openness, knowing that each step forward brings me closer to mastering my craft. Not just in communication, but in creativity, resilience, and self-expression. The excitement of progress. Every day feels like a small victory, not because of external achievements, but because of the internal progress I made. I've rediscovered the joy of learning for the sake of learning, much like the excitement I felt as a young student. YouTube has become a stage for growth and experimentation, and the process itself is rewarding. I'm not here to prove I know it all. I'm here to get better step by step and to share that journey with anyone who's willing to come along. This idea that I can keep improving, that there's always more to learn, is incredibly exciting. It's what keeps me motivated and energized every day. Last but not least, I want to express my heartfelt thanks to my first 50 subscribers. Your trust in me at this early stage when I'm still figuring things out means the world to me. It's rare to find people who believe in you when you are just starting out, and your support is a reminder of why I'm on this journey. Thank you for resonating with my content and for being part of this process. If you're just starting your YouTube journey, I love to hear from you. What's one skill or lesson you are working on mastering right now? Share it in the comment, and I'd love to learn from you and cheer you on as we grow together. Shit, I forgot to record. OK， 好累。